We live in a world obsessed with measuring intelligence, test scores, academic grades, job performance. And somewhere inside all of that, we quietly sort people into categories without ever really questioning what those categories mean. So today, let us look at what psychology actually tells us about extremely low IQ. Not to judge, not to rank, but because understanding the edges of human cognition reveals something genuinely surprising about all of us. First, what does a low IQ actually mean? IQ measures specific cognitive abilities, reasoning, processing speed, problem solving. The average sits at 100. Psychologists classify anything below 70 as an intellectual disability. Below 50 is considered severe cognitive impairment. But here is where it gets interesting. A very low IQ does not mean an absence of intelligence. What it describes is a different cognitive architecture. The brain is not broken, it is organized differently. Research consistently shows reduced connectivity in the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for abstract reasoning, future planning, and reading unspoken social rules. Tasks most adults handle automatically require significantly more effort. In some cases, those abilities do not fully develop at all. And yet, here is the paradox that cognitive psychologists find genuinely fascinating. Many individuals with profoundly low IQ demonstrate strong emotional sensitivity, reliable memory for routine, and a real capacity to learn through repetition. Their world is not built around abstract thought. It is grounded in direct experience, emotional connection, and familiar patterns, and within that world, many of them function with remarkable consistency. Now, what does low IQ actually look like in behavior? Psychology has identified several patterns worth understanding. The first is overconfidence without comprehension. You may have encountered this. Someone speaking with absolute certainty about something they clearly do not understand. Psychologists call this the Dunning-Kruger effect. People with limited cognitive ability often lack the self-awareness to recognize the limits of their own understanding. The less you know, the more confident you can feel, because you do not yet know enough to recognize how much you are missing. The second pattern is cognitive rigidity. The world gets divided into extremes, right or wrong, with me or against me. The psychological term is black and white thinking, an inability to hold complexity, nuance, or multiple perspectives at once. This is not stubbornness in the way we usually mean it. It is a genuine cognitive limitation, the mental flexibility required to say both things can be true. At once demands processing capacity that is simply not available. The third pattern is difficulty with emotional regulation. Studies consistently link lower IQ with impulsive emotional responses, reacting before thinking, taking disagreement personally, struggling to manage frustration or anger. This is not a character flaw. It reflects the same prefrontal cortex limitations that affect abstract reasoning. The part of the brain that says, wait, think first, consider consequences. That part is working harder and achieving less. And the fourth, a tendency to explain outcomes through external forces. Psychologists call this external locus of control. The belief that life happens to you rather than because of you. When something goes wrong, the explanation is always out there. Other people, bad luck, an unfair system. The cognitive work of examining your own role in an outcome and adjusting your behavior accordingly is genuinely difficult at lower levels of cognitive function. But here is the part most people miss entirely. When we look at extremely low IQ through a modern psychological lens, something unexpected emerges. The experiences most central to being human, love, loyalty, fear, joy, connection, grief, do not live in the prefrontal cortex. They live much deeper, in regions of the brain that no IQ test was ever designed to measure. Research on social attachment consistently shows that individuals with extremely low IQ form strong, meaningful bonds. Deep loyalty, genuine affection, a remarkable sensitivity to tone of voice, and emotional warmth. The emotional brain operates largely independently from abstract reasoning. And in many cases, it operates with real richness. Howard Gardner, one of the most influential psychologists in this field, argued that what we call intelligence is really just one dimension of a far more complex human system. Standard IQ tests were designed to predict academic performance, not emotional depth, not capacity for connection, not the kind of wisdom that comes from a lifetime of paying attention to the people around you. So, what is the actual takeaway here? Understanding low IQ does not just change how we see people at the lower end of the cognitive spectrum. It changes how we understand intelligence itself. The brain, every brain, is always adapting, always finding ways to process and connect and make meaning within its own unique architecture. And perhaps the most genuinely thought-provoking insight from all of this research is simply this: the things that make us most human are not the things any test has ever measured. Don't forget to comment and subscribe if you like the video.